I do. Let's return now to the day's events in Russia, where President Putin has formalized his country's annexation of Crimea. He told the Russian parliament there was no intention to divide Ukraine, but launched a bitter attack on the West and said Russia would defend its interests. Well, we're joined now from Washington, D.C. by Mikheil Saakashvili, who until last November was president of another of Russia's neighbors, the Republic of Georgia. So let me start off with this question. Vladimir Putin said today in Moscow that he does not intend to divide Ukraine any further. Do you believe him when he says that?
No, I don't believe a word what he says. In fact, in his Orwellian world, in his newspeak and doublespeak, you should understand him exactly to the opposite what he says. And actually, he said exactly the same things about Georgia in 2008. He said the same things about Ukraine just a few days ago, that he had no plans to attack them. And the problem is that lots of Western diplomats are hearing this absolutely cynical lies, and they kind of, because of their visual thinking, say, okay, maybe he means it, maybe we should engage him, maybe we should give him benefit of the doubt. Well, that looks very foolish, to say the least. But
never mind doublespeak, whether it exists or not. The people of Crimea in their referendum, one has to admit, have spoken very clearly, have they not? I mean, 97% of those who voted want to be part of Russia. They are now part of Russia. That is a fact that we cannot deny.
Yeah, but look, I mean, the way how, again, in their own world, first, the way how they do it, they first change the ethnographic place and the demographically the place, and you know that Crimea, before it was Russian, it was Tatar, and Tatar were absolute majority there. Then they threw out most of the Tatars, deported them, all of them, then only part of them came back, brought in lots of Russians, exactly for the same token as they threw out from Abkhazia, Georgia's region, 80% of pre-war population there. In South Ossetia, 75 or 80% of pre-war population there. Now, if you could do referendums in Abkhazia and South Ossetia, you'll get the results that Putin wants, only because the population that always lived there is out, because, again, because of Russian efforts. Like that, you can do stage referendums, by the way, under Kalashnikovs, just anywhere. First, go in with your people, clean the place or change the people, and then do referendums. And if they continue like this, whole Europe should be reshaped. Why don't they, you know, and by the way, I mean, Alaska was part of Russia as well.
Can I just ask you very quickly, do you think Europe has done enough? Should it have been much tougher in its sanctions? Should the military option be on the table?
No, look, first of all, the sanctions are not the sanctions that have been applied. Putin is laughing his head off, because 10 or 20 people on the U.S. list, few people on European list, and then he's telling his people, don't worry, you know, in half a year, just like it was after Georgia, we will employ Schroders of the world, all these lobbyists, so former prime ministers and presidents of the Western countries that would do just anything for money. We'll hire some other lobbyists, and our cheerleaders will make sure that West changes its mind. And indeed, I saw the news today. Well, there was relief among, you know, stocks that, you know, stocks rebounded because sanctions didn't seem to be serious. Well, I think I understand the companies that are happy about that, but one should know that politicians should look beyond that. And the problem is that beyond that there is a big trouble.
We've got to leave it there. I'm really sorry. Better late than ever. President Saakashvili, thank you very much for joining us.